Alright everyone, what is up here today YouTube? Jigsaw0097 bringing you the Packers-Eagles Thursday night preview video. Hopefully this isn't a massacre for the Philadelphia Eagles, but I'll just get into my thoughts on the game. So as you guys know, our secondary is really banged up. Ronald Darby ended up going out. And they said he's going to miss like a month, which honestly I'm not really that upset about. Ronald Darby, you know, he's really one of those guys that very frustrating to watch. I still stand by the fact that this is the scheme more than the players, but Ronald Darby is one of those players that he's like a Jalen Mills, you know, you can't really rely on him to do much. If the ball is thrown his way, he's usually going to get fried. So that means that my boy Rasul will be able to play in his stead, which I am actually very excited to see. I think Rasul Douglas has held his own pretty well most of the season, other than the Redskins game. He got torched a couple times, but Rasul Douglas is one of those guys that gets better the more he plays. And this is why it just baffles me that Jim Schwartz hasn't figured this out yet. I think Rasul Douglas always should have been starting over Ronald Darby. So we'll have to see what that entails. But we got Rasul back there. We'll, of course, have Malcolm Jenkins back there. Sidney Jones has been getting fried, too. He got really abused last game. So, you know, all this Jalen Ramsey talk, you know, I watched some videos from Joey Shakes about this. I watched a Bitter Birds video about this. And I'm actually leaning on the side of, you know, I think the Eagles should go out and get a guy like Jalen Ramsey, because it's like they're really not the best with draft picks. If you look at what happens with all these draft picks, Miles Sanders, Sidney Jones, you know, these guys are just not good enough. They're just not good enough. If this team ever wants to be an elite football team, they got to start taking some chances on some free agents. And I'll even argue, like, look at our Super Bowl year, guys. When the Eagles won the Super Bowl, what was the key ingredient to them winning? They went out and they got tons of free agents. They got Alshon Jeffrey, they got Torrey Smith, they got Patrick Robinson, LeGarrette Blount. You know, this is why the Eagles won the Super Bowl. Chris Long. This is the value of free agency, and I don't understand why in the Eagles' quest for the new norm, they seem to go away from this all of a sudden. It's just insanity. And it's also what I've argued with Carson Wentz over Nick Foles. Nick Foles commands the offense in a way that Carson Wentz just doesn't. I don't know if it's a leadership problem or if the team just doesn't respect Carson Wentz as much as they respect Nick Foles. But this is the kind of stuff that I was worried about when they decided to go with Carson Wentz over Nick Foles. Nick Foles was the guy that won you the Super Bowl. The team respected him. So, The point I'm making here is the Eagles need to start taking some chances again. They need to stop going with the safe bet or whatever they think is the safe bet. They need to start taking some chances on some players, and that starts with a guy like Jalen Ramsey. So I'm in full support of them going out and getting secondary help at this point. You know, I'm looking at their draft picks, and I really had a contemplation moment, and I'm like, how many good draft picks have the Eagles actually had? They've had like Fletcher Cox, Zach Ertz, you know, Carson Wentz. Of course, it's debatable if Carson Wentz is going to be great in the future, you know. But it's like they don't get lucky as much as they should. And also this year they're probably, if they keep playing like crap, obviously no, but I think they'll pick it up. But if they pick it up, they're gonna have a lower draft pick anyway. So it's like, if I was them, I would be giving it up for Jalen Ramsey. So anyway, that's a minor tangent. I'll just get into the game though, but that really kind of just goes over the defensive woes that I think is going to cost them big in this season. And we've got a guy called Aaron Rodgers that we have to play in this game. And if the pass rush can't get to him, which I doubt it will, guys, Aaron Rodgers is one of those guys that can just fling that ball out there and like like that. Just, this guy's a gunslinger if I've ever seen one. And so if the pass rush isn't going to get there, he's going to fry our secondary. As much as I love Rasul, he's going to get destroyed this game. Aaron Rodgers spreads the ball around, so we're going to see equal fryage. We're going to see Sidney Jones getting fried, Rasul Douglas. There's going to be nothing. There's going to be no I don't think there's going to be any star player offensively for the Packers, because I think that the Packers are going to just spread it around. So that's going to be an issue. And then the other issue is, of course, the Eagles' offense, if they're going to be able to exercise the demons of the past. Because I think the key to victory here, guys, is the Eagles catch the ball, as weird as that sounds. The Eagles need to catch the ball. Carson Wentz needs to do a good job of getting it out to these guys. And, of course, we will have Alshon Jeffrey back. I did read the news that he's coming back, and I think Deshaun Jackson will come back next week, week 5. So we're going to have Alshon, which is going to help a ton. So that means Alshon, Zach Ertz will be the number one guys out there. Hopefully they can put Nelson Aguilar back down to more of a secondary role. And then, go from there. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside dropped a ball, which was heartbreaking. Mac Hollins kept getting PI'd, which I really don't agree with the PI on Mac Hollins, especially after that dude yanked the helmet off of Miles and didn't get a penalty. I thought the refs were just trash in the Lions game. And I don't know if that's going to continue into the Packers game. But hopefully the Eagles can keep the penalties to a minimum and they can actually catch the freaking ball. That's the key. Because honestly, as much as I've criticized Wentz in the past, this season I think Wentz has been quite solid. Other than the fears that I've talked about, and I stand by those. I don't think that this team responds the same way to Wentz. And I also think Doug Peterson overthinks his playbook when he's playing with Wentz. That was another huge thing about Nick Foles, is that it was very simplified, very down to earth, and it just worked. It was like a well-oiled machine. It's kind of like what the Patriots do with Tom Brady every year. They just have something that works, and they stick to it. And Doug Peterson, when he uses Carson Wentz, he feels like he needs to be this dynamic coach. We're going to throw the ball 80% of the time. He just goes away from the run game. So I hope he gets away from that, because Jordan Howard, guys, it is criminal how much he has been underutilized this season. If you guys remember the Super Bowl year, the key to us going to the Super Bowl finally was the use of LeGarrette Blount. And we have that again with Jordan Howard. We have a all-purpose back that can just bowl through you. We saw it in the Lions game. He bowled over guys when they used him. But this Miles Sanders fetish, or whatever the hell's going on with Miles Sanders and the coaching staff, needs to end now. I don't want to see Miles Sanders, dancing, fumbling Sanders is what I'm going to keep calling him until he shapes up. I want to see him more of a secondary role. Jordan Howard is the hot free agent. Use him. Why would you trade for a guy when you're going to just go draft a guy and use that guy? It makes no sense. And also the free agent, he's a proven veteran. Use him. I want to see Jordan Howard. So my keys to success: get the ball to Alshon Jeffrey. Carson Wentz needs to calm down a little bit, not run around so much. Maybe hand the ball off to Jordan Howard a little bit. And then hopefully Doug maybe can simplify the offense a little bit. Keep it more down to earth, so that the offensive line isn't getting gassed out there trying to protect Wentz while he holds onto the ball for 7 seconds. And then of course the defense. Like I said, I don't think there's any plan with the defense. I think that they're going to just do their best to keep us in this game. But if the Eagles aren't putting up points this time, especially, there's no way they can go down 17-0 and be okay. If that happens in this game, it's over, guys. So the defense can do their best, but the offense is really what's going to have to keep us in this game this time. There has to be points put on the board. And if there isn't, I see, unfortunately, a massacre happening at Green Bay. So that's kind of my preview, guys. Do I think the Eagles are going to win this game? I don't think they're going to win this game. Do I think they can win this game? Absolutely they can win this game. If they do what I said they need to do. They need to go back to common sense football. No more of this crap, dropping passes, overcomplicating things. Just keep it down to earth. We know Doug Peterson's capable of this. He's a Super Bowl winning coach. We know that he knows how to win games. So that's what I want to see from the Eagles, guys. So anyway, let me know what you think about this Packers game coming up. Sorry I waited so long to make this game. I've just been kind of on the NFL lately. So, you know, I thought about this one for a while, but I'd like to hear your guys' opinions on this. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button as well, as I will be covering the Eagles and the NFL all season long. But to all my returning viewers, thank you so much for watching. This has been Jigsaw0097. I will talk to you all later.